Hello, it's Miss Heather here at Conservatory of the Ozarks, and today I'm here with my student,
Silas,
and he's having his piano lesson. So, I just thought we could talk about our, don't pull on the phone cord, whew, or disaster will strike, Silas's little to-do list for this week for his song he's working on, Oh How I Love Jesus. So this is a little list of ways to practice. When we practice, we have to play the same thing over and over again. So it's nice if we can find a different way to play the same thing over and over again. So each time we play it, it's a little different and we have something new to think about so our brains stay engaged. So we were talking about before we start, we want to count out loud so we have a nice steady beat. So what is the time signature for this song?
3.
3, 4 times. So how many beats in every measure?
3.
So if we are going to count for 2 measures before we start, how far do we have to count? 3 and 3.
3.
So 3 and 3 is?
6.
6. Good job, Mom. Teaching him math. So we have one other thing. We don't want to just count to 6. We want to say the 1 and the 4 a little extra loud. So let's practice. Let's practice doing that. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You try it by yourself.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, and that can kind of help us feel the beat before we begin. So the other things we have to check are our posture and our hand shape, all of those boring but important things. So do you have your feet flat on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Are your knees under the keys? Bottom on the edge of the bench? Let's check your distance. Oh no! Try not to touch the fall board forcefully, because then it will not. It will move. That's the thing about the fall board, it moves. Okay, so now we need to find the position where your hands belong, which is
Right there.
there you go. And then we have to think about your hand shape. So we have to have the side of the thumb on the key. Can you put your sides of your thumbs on the keys? And then we have to have the tips of the fingers, and let's do a quick knuckle check. Let's tap these knuckles to see if we have some firm. These are called distal joints, these knuckles here. These are called proximal joints, and we want both the proximal, which are at a closer proximity to your body, and the distal ones, which are farther away from your body, to be firm. And then we want to hold our bubble under the bridge, but we don't want to have this crazy wrist, right? Look how tight that is. Can you relax this wrist? Relax, relax. Let it there. But this, but this stays here somehow. It's so tricky, right? Relaxed. See how it's bubbled up? We don't need a bubble under our wrist. Can you relax it? There. But keep this bubble here. All right, got it? Now let's try the other hand. Can you hold your bubble? Here's your bubble here under the bridge, and we relax this wrist. Great. Is your thumb on its side? Let's check these knuckles. Are they curved? Oh, Silas, I'm not finding any squishy knuckles on it. Look at this. That looks fantastic. And then something a lot of people have a hard time with, and Silas is a great example of this, is shoulder tension. So we want to have a tall back, but shoulders down. And when we put our shoulders down, we don't want to let our bubbles collapse. It's so hard to do all of those things all at the same time. So let's look at you. This is kind of like a mirror. If you turn your head to the side, you can see this back is tall. Up, not back. And, oh, not here. This isn't our bubble. Let's check this hand. And you can see your hips have a right angle and your knees have a right angle. Oh, your ankles have a right angle if your feet are flat. And this all looks great. So, keeping everything like that, let's just practice playing together the first thing you have to play on this song, okay? You ready to count with me?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Now you try that by yourself, and I'll just watch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Almost. Here, let's write it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you could just read that. But before you start.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And keep counting. 1, 2, 3. Good. That's exactly right. Now the next thing we have to think about is when you're playing this song, you have some black keys, which can be tricky for hand shape. So to avoid letting this black key push your knuckle flat, you can do two things. You can scooch your hand farther up towards the fall board. Do you want to try that?
Sure.
So you can, yep, and then really focus on keeping your distal joint very firm. Don't let it push your hand flat. Black keys love to push your hand flat. You can't let them win. So now let's count off again, and let's just go like to the end of the second measure so we can practice that black key, okay? So your hand position with both hands, and your hand shape. Is your back tall? Are your shoulders relaxed? Ready to count? Read right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Stay correct. 1, 2. Oh, yep, that's it. Good. Yep, that's great. Now try it by yourself. 1,
2, 3, 4. Wait, 4, 5, 6.
2, 3. That was really good. So we practiced this song counting out loud. Then we played it again and we practiced singing the letter names, like just for the right hand. E, D sharp, E, C, C, right? And then how else did we practice it?
We did the metronome, and we did it.
Metronome and counting.
Yeah, and counting.
We did a teacher duet, which Mom and Dad could do with you at home, because I just played the same part with you today.
Not Dad.
Oh, not Dad, just Mom.
Yeah.
Maybe your dad could sing with you. That would be a good duet.
Yeah.
Oh, and then what was the other thing that we had to watch out for? We had to mark Silas's score a little bit today. What were these marks that you put in your score?
Repeated notes.
Those tricky repeated notes. And what's the most tricky of all those repeated notes? Can you point? Why is that particularly tricky?
Because it's like the same, but it's not the same.
What's the same about it?
I don't know.
Are the pitches the same pitches?
Yeah.
And what's different?
Is that this is 1, 2, 3, but this is 1, 2, and then 3.
And that for all of them, for the one that's a dotted half note, like it's 3 beats, we say 1, 2, 3. That's pretty easy, that makes sense. For the half note, it gets 2, so we say 1, 2. But that quarter note that only gets 1 beat, do we get to say 1?
No.
We have to say
3.
and that is kind of confusing, isn't it? So could you demonstrate how you should play that part? Just with your right hand is fine. And count out loud so we can see. Oh, just the repeated 1, 2. Oh, so
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
that was perfect. Now could you do it with right hand and left hand at the same time? Check your hand shape.
1, 2.
Oh, not quite. How many beats?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
That was perfect. Great job, Silas. And I think, oh, one other little thing. See how we have all of these dotted half notes? So when you come to a dotted half note, or any long note, I mean, do you want to just sit there and just like kind of zone out and be like, 1, 2, 3, and then suddenly be like, oh shoot, I have another note to play. 1, 2, 3. Probably not the best strategy, right?
Yeah.
No. Do you have an idea for a different plan? involving your eyes?
Yeah.
What could your eyes do while your fingers are holding the note?
Look in front.
Right. One way of saying that is look ahead. Let's draw a picture of Silas's eyes. So while you're holding with your fingers, look ahead with your eyes. So you're like, 1, don't really need to look at it anymore, so I'm going to look at the next measure. 2, 3, and now I'm ready. Right on time, and then look ahead while I'm counting. Well, it's hard to count and look at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you should get used to it because it's really good to do, even though it's hard. And those are all your reminders for this song. It seems simple if you just look at it, but it has a lot of things to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really does. Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you feel like you know what to do when you get home?
Yes.
And do you know what your practice goal is for this week? How many days?
I don't know.
I wrote down 5 days of 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do your flashcards or play your song, or you could also review the BIBLE so you don't forget it. All right, good job, Silas. You should give yourself 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
For being a great piano champion and also wearing the best shirt ever. Yeah.